Hello, Arjen.
Hi.
You are back again, and
Yeah,
you're going to present part three of your Hahnemann's life and
yeah,
wanderings. Thank you.
yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good day. Today is 11th of April. Yesterday it was Hahnemann's birthday. You remember?
Yeah.
Today we do series number 3 of 5 series, Hahnemann's life and wanderings. Part 3 is from Königslutter up to Leipzig. And you will see that he will move many times in this part of his life. Here we go. He is in Königslutter from 1796 till 1799, and I was there. And you will see the house. The family moves there at the end of 1796, and this is the sewage entrance. Dive into the street, but again, this is yeah, they make these things. Stad Königslutter am Elm. Elm is a river. Königslutter is the city. And here it is. You are in the middle of there's the Raadhouse, the town hall, there's the church, and on the right side there you see the old Raadhouse, town hall. And that's the house where Hahnemann lived. So it was his house on the right side. Now it's an office of something, but you can enter the door. You can go in. And there is a plaque on the right side of the old town hall. That's here. Here is that plaque. This thing. You can find it here on the wall. The founder of homeopathy, Samuel Hahnemann, he was a doctor of medicine, and he practiced here. He worked here as a homeopath, as a doctor. In fact, as a doctor, from 96 till 99. We go through the door, and there you find this, because this is the contract of the house, that he bought the house. You can just go into the hall, there's no problem, the door is open, you can go there. And this is all what remembers in the house to Hahnemann. It's written, handwritten, you can see it here, but it's translated into English, I think, to English. And you can exactly write what it was all about that he bought this house. Oh no, I see it's in Kauf contract is the contract of
Yeah. In
buying the house.
German, yeah.
Yeah, and he bought 1600 Reichsthaler. We don't go. We will not read it all, but it's nice that there's a picture of this thinking. 1796, Hahnemann is there working on the second part of the Friend of Health, and he completes the Apothekerlektion. There is written on it 1793. I think that he started writing that book by then, and he writes an article in Hoeverland's journal about a new principle, the law of similars. There he found it out. 1796 is the year of birth of that he found out. Oh, there is something likes and likes. This is the year of birth of homeopathy. The law of similars, similia similibus curentur, as you all know. He wished to return to Gotha, and in March 1799 he wrote to an old friend, Councillor Becker, attempting to become Hofraad and physician in ordinary from Duke Ernst from Saxon-Coburg-Gotha. As this intention fell through, he decided to go to Hamburg in the summer. So, again, he liked to do something very much, but was impossible. And he said, oh, now I left this part of Germany, I go up to the north. Up till now, we were in the southeast of Germany, and Hamburg is really in the north, northwest, north. And there he lived in 3 houses in the suburb of Altona, which is now part of Hamburg. On the Kleine Freiheit, Small Freedom 65. He lived there in 1799, where he practices homeopathy. And in Sankt Georg is also part of Hamburg nowadays. It's the same as Sankt Jürgen. He arrived there in the summer of 1800. So you see, he was only some month in Altona. And in St. Georg, he were in Alsterswiede, 126. Now it's called Alstertwiete. The names differ a little bit. But only there he is very, very short time, not much. But there are no houses anymore. I was in the suburb of Altona, in the Kleine Freiheit 65, but when you go there now, it's just a square with many cars, and it's open, and there's no house anymore. Mm-hmm. In Alstertwiete 126, that is still a street, but nothing reminds us of Hahnemann. I was there. I think I've seen the house or houses that were made later on, but there's nothing that remains. But then he goes to Mölln. Mölln is, I've written it's 20 kilometers south of Lübeck, but it's also close to Hamburg. And in this house he lived some time. And the house is beautiful. Also you see an entrance to the sewage of Mölln. Just a joke of my wife, because she always sees these iron things, and we clean it, and then we make a fix of that. There's a beautiful painting also in the center of Mölln. This is the house. You can see my arrow.
Yeah.
This is the church. We will enter the church. This is how it is nowadays. I skipped this because here's written that Hahnemann was here, but it's all in German and I'm not going to translate it. This is the house. Marktstraße 14. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Market Road, number 14. You see it's beautiful built. Vakwerk, we say in Dutch language. This is
wooden construction.
And this is brick. Here, many houses in Germany are built in this way, also in France. Beautiful. Now you may think that these bricks, that this is all bricks, but it is not true. This is only it is painted. It's painted. It's just plaster, this piece of the wall, and also this one. It's all made of plaster, and then they painted bricks on it. But perhaps you may think, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful, but not bricks. It's just paint. This is the entrance. You step in. This is the front door. I did not ring the bell. But I was there. And it's still the same house where Hahnemann lived, so beautiful house. Here you see the market street again, and now we went up a staircase of the Saint Nikolai Kirche, a church. It was a very beautiful day that we were there, and we entered the church. You see the church from, in fact, this was when Hahnemann stepped out of his door, he saw the church in this way. And on the 5th of October, 1800, of this church, his daughter Louise was baptized. So that, I think Louise started her life from early beginning when Henriette was pregnant. In this house, I think Louise was made in this house in Mölln. And here you see the place where she was baptized. I was there. I took the picture myself. We were there, and once Hahnemann stood here with his daughter Louise. Very nice to be there. There he wrote, also in Muln, he wrote an article about the discovery of a so-called new salt. He was very glad that he found out there is a new salt, and he called it alkali pneum. What caused a great commotion because this salt was nothing but borax. And he knew that, and he admitted. Hahnemann admitted publicly that he made a deplorable error. Sometimes he made a mistake, and when he made a mistake, he could say, I made a mistake, sorry. In the former presentation, I told you that he was a very good pharmacist, and even good pharmacists, like all good homeopaths, sometimes they make a mistake. Do I make a mistake? Sometimes yes, I do. At this moment, I'm treating 2 little children, one baby with whooping cough and a child of 10 years old, 10 years sick after vaccination against whooping cough. Both are running well, but in both I made some small mistakes. And lucky for the children, I was able to repair my small mistake. It would be very nice. Wow. You remember the first presentation. There you find, in the first presentation, there's the stone, the old stone of the oude Sapere oude. And,
Yeah.
Because of making this presentation, I was thinking about that stone, and it would be so nice to be there once more, sitting together with many students and homeopaths together, celebrating his birthday or giving a lecture about making mistakes in homeopathy, or how glad I am that I can treat whooping cough in little babies. It would be very nice. By the way, I treated many times whooping cough, and so far I never failed, which is not a glory for me, but is for the glory of homeopathy, that you are able to do it. And my great helper, my great helper is the repertory. May I say, the mother of the baby said, when my child coughs, the moment I keep her upright, then the cough slowly goes away. Every time when she coughs and I put her upright. So, chapter cough. Sitting upright ameliorates. The first remedy written there is antimonium tartaricum, which has very much difficulties to cough up, to get a phlegm out of the lungs. Antimonium tartaricum in 2 days. This is also very nice drawing of Hahnemann's house, just because I was there, and you see the paintings, you make a picture of the painting, or it's in a book or in a magazine, and then, let me take this picture too. So you see it's very close. Here's the church. This is the town hall. Here are the staircase. Here are some staircases from which I took the picture of the house. Here's also Hahnemann's first medicine chest, about 1800. I think it's not always completely true what I tell you, because also in Georgenthal, where he treated the madman, there also is Hahnemann's first medicine chest. So there are more, of course, but nevertheless, it's nice. You see, there's cork on the bottles, and on the corks there is written what's inside. Later on, you will see a big chest of remedies, and always it's so nice, handwritten with a goose feathers pen. Beautiful. Now he starts. You will see him moving from one house to another, and we do it very quickly because nothing happens during all these years. He's just writing, translating, and arguing with his colleagues and with the chemists and the pharmacists. And he has to move from Machern in the winter of 1801, or perhaps in the summer of 1801. It's not always true, so I'm not sure that everything is correct, but in a way.
Yeah.
He goes to Eilenburg, where patient reports started to be published. And he is in Wittenberg an der Elbe. Elbe is a river, and he returns to Dessau, the hometown of his wife. So he was 2 times he was in Dessau, where Henriette, his wife, was the stepdaughter of the pharmacist over there. And then in Dessau also Eleonore is born in 1803. I don't know which was number Eleonore, but I think Eleonore is number 8 or number 9, something like that. In Dessau, Hahnemann wrote many works, including on the effects of coffee from original observations. So, you know, also from coffee, you see the 2 sides of coffee it makes you lively, and when you are lively, you can take the remedy coffea.
Yeah.
Keynote of coffea is excessive joy, ailments from excessive joy, when you are very much excited. I remember a little girl who was so excited that she performed something at school. From that moment on, she had a headache, and coffea saved her in a way.
Cured her.
Cure and prevention of scarlet fever with belladonna. Belladonna is so close to scarlet fever, because belladonna has the strawberry tongue, and in scarlet fever you see the strawberry tongue. In scarlet fever you have the heat upstairs, and also belladonna has the heat upstairs in the head. Big difference with aconite. Aconite has a heat in the whole body, and belladonna has the heat in the brain. He experienced a scarlatina epidemic in Königslutter, which was a little bit earlier. At the end of 1804 or the beginning of 1805, the family arrives in Torgau, where they moved in the Freihaus at Fahrgasse number 3. The comparatively long sojourn in Torgau will last 7 years, and Hahnemann writes 19 books and essays. Now there comes some rest and peace in Torgau. I was in Torgau, and you will see the house. Most important, that there in Torgau, there the Organon, the Rationelle Heilkunde, his book, the Organon, was published. The first edition, 1810. The Materia Medica Pura, part number 1. And he also conducted many drug provings, of course, because they are all in Materia Medica Pura, part number 1. In 1805, Charlotte was born, and in 1806, Louise. So, Eleonora perhaps was number 6, I don't know. Oh. We go here. This is the house. This is still the house. It's a little bit upgraded with paint, but the house is still the same. The house is in the Pfarrstraße. In the Pfarrer is the Reverend Street. There is this house, Hahnemann's house. And I was there. We will also see it's a museum. And also it's a place where students can be taught in homeopathy. We are in the backyard. It's a little bit modern now, but it's still the backyard. You see the church again. It's always very close in the center of Torgau. We'll not miss the house. On the left side, the Stadskirche Sankt Marien, St. Mary's Church. Many churches are called St. Mary's. Here, number 1, the book. 1810 in Dresden. There was his publisher was there. Organon der Rationellen Heilkunde in Dresden. And nowadays it's in the possession of the Robert Bosch Stiftung in Stuttgart. I was there in Stuttgart. I was at the Robert Bosch Stiftung. I entered that huge building and I just asked, please, please, please show me that book. But they did not want to do that. No. On the front page of Gallett's, on the front page is Gallett's text. This is in German language. The German listeners of this presentation, they know this already. They've read it.
So the
In
truth,
fact, here is written. Yeah.
the truth which we all need.
The translation is coming. Translation is coming.
Okay.
It's here. In fact, is die Wahrheit. Die Wahrheit ist nur leicht verdeckt, nicht tief vergraben. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so logic. It's so nice. So simple. Just do it. Just do it. The truth we mortals need, us blessed to make and keep the all-wise slightly covered over, but did not bury deep. No, you have to hear from it. And then you have to start doing it. I remember so well Roger Morrison during his first introduction. It was in 1986, 1987, that he was in Burghaamstede.
Yeah.
And he said, I remember how I started doing homeopathy. I was just a medical doctor. I was reading something. And then between all those readings, there was a sheet of paper about a new thing, something like, it had to do with likes, and it was called homeopathy. I wrote it. I thought, this can't be true. So he threw the sheet of paper into the dustbin. And then he was thinking, wow, when that is true, okay, I get it. Went to the dustbin, took the piece of paper, searched for a person who could explain him, and the rest is history, because Roger Morrison went to George Vitulkas. Vitulkas said, I'm a Greek. So when you want to learn homeopathy, you have to talk to the Greek, learn Greek. 1 year later, he came back speaking Greek language and learned homeopathy from George Vitulkas. It was the great revival of homeopathy in the 20th century, and lucky, very lucky, I listened 4 or 5 long seminars to Roger Morrison, which helped me a lot.
Yes, I was there. Huh?
Then we were young.
Yeah.
Another English version, truth for which all the eager world is fain, which makes us happy, destined it for man. It's so true. The first 2 paragraphs of the book, the doctor's sole object is to make the sick man well. And this is called healing. That is what we have to do, not for big money. Never. Just enjoy what's really healing. The highest ideal of the healing art is a speedy, gentle and lasting restoration of the health, or the removal and annihilation in the shortest, most dependable, least harmful way, on easy, understandable principle. On easy, understandable principles. That's why I like to teach beginners how homeopathy is all about. To tell them about the repertory. They have to know that book. Will you start becoming a good homeopath? Start at the beginning. Let me teach you. Now we continue with, we are in Torgau, and in Torgau Hahnemann wrote a lot of articles and books, and they are in German language, but I will translate. He wrote texts, Esculaap auf der Waagschale. It means the doctor on the scales. The next one is a very big book It is called in Latin language Fragmenta de Viribus Medicamentorum Positivis, the first repertory. It is his first repertory he made. He started to make it in 1805, and it's just a handwritten repertory. You will see it later. Heilkunde der Erfahrung. It is the science of healing. Fingerzeige auf den homöopathischen Gebrauch der Arzneien in der bisherigen Praxis. It's just fingertips for homeopathy, while working with homeopathy. It has something to do with the main symptoms of a remedy, the most important symptoms of a remedy. You cannot know everything about all the remedies, but you must know their real characteristics. The more the better. Über den Wert der spekulativen Arzneisysteme, besonders im Gegenhalt der mit ihnen gepaarten gewöhnlichen Praxis. This is about what are you doing? Homeopathy is in discuss by that time, and all the times Hahnemann is writing about the real homeopathy. Auszug eines Briefes an einen Arzt von hohem Range über die höchst nötige Wiedergeburt der Heilkunde. It's all about the same. What's the real essence of homeopathy? What's the difference with treatment by that time? And why is it of big advantage for the patients to be a real homeopath? He writes about venereal diseases and how to deal with that. And of course, there's always fever, and he has ideas about how to deal with fever. Writing. He's not doing so much practice. I think I saw more patients in my life than Hahnemann ever. But he was a thinker, a writer, an author. Of course, he treated some patients, but when he did not treat patients, he was thinking, writing. And this is the first part of Materia Medica Pura. It's a collection of proving symptoms of many, many remedies. In the register of death in the Evangelische Kirche in St. Marien, there's the name of his daughter Carolina, recorded on the 13th of April, 1807. She passed away. And this is the death register. She's Jungfrau Caroline Hahnemann is written here.
Yeah.
You see, it was so close to his house. This is the church at the end of the street of his house, where his house was in Torgau. There was that church. It's very close. Now we are in his house in Torgau. It was almost empty when I was there. It's not completely empty, but this is the I think the room downstairs, and you see paintings on the wall. You see the staircase. Perhaps this is a stone staircase. I think this is still the same staircase as when it was in Hahnemann's time. Here you see the ceiling, the uncovered painted ceiling from the 16th and 17th century. This was what was in Hahnemann's house. It was really a beautiful house by then. Napoleon's armies were marching on, and Hahnemann had to leave his beloved Torgau with his family in 1811, and for the third time they arrived in Leipzig. Hahnemann had not so much to do with the wars of Napoleon, but sometimes when the armies came close, he had to move, and then because of this reason, he went in 1811. He went to Leipzig. He had to leave Torgau, and then for the third time he came in Leipzig. There he had a small practice, and he wrote many scientific works. Also with the doctors in Leipzig, there starts the big argument, because many doctors, he called them half homeopath, because they want to mix remedies and they want only to work with the low D potencies. And Hahnemann said, no, one single remedy at a time in a potentized way. And in 1816, Materia Medica Pura Part 2 is published, and the second edition from Organon der Heilkunst. And now, with the motto of the Fürstenschule from Meissen, Oude Sapre, is on the front page. And now he calls it Organon der Heilkunst, the tool of the art of healing. That's the best translation of Organon der Heilkunst, tool of the art of healing, and not the science of healing. Of course, it's a combination, art and science, and I spoke a lot about it. And here you see the cover of a manhole. It's the sewage canal below in the streets, down in the streets, and this is the cover of such a manhole. And because every city in Germany has its own covers, my wife saw them and we cleaned them a little bit, and then we made a picture of it, and you see them everywhere. Much is unclear about the addresses in Leipzig. There are many addresses where he lived, of 3, 4, and I put them down, but it's perhaps not so interesting anymore, because you cannot find all these addresses. They are gone. These addresses are in the oldest part in the center of Leipzig, and there is a modern shopping center nowadays, so nothing is there anymore. Here you see a Leipzig city map in 1800, and here are houses where he lived: Brühl 452, Burgstrasse 147, and Pflug, it's very difficult word, Pflugskes Vrijhuis, number 139, but you cannot find them. This is today's all gone, except the marketplace. And there is, here you see a dot, there's a statue of Hahnemann, and you will see that. But the houses, forget it. You see the marketplace in the center, it's all there. Here are where the houses once were. I have been there, I was there, but it's all modern shopping center. Because now you see this not new. Cannot find anything. Mm-hmm. I tried to find out where was it exactly, but it's not interesting because it's not there anymore. Between 1811 and 1815, the Materia Medica Pura is published in 6 parts. In 1813, there's the Battle for Leipzig. It is Napoleon who is taking over Europe, and of course in times of war there's typhoid, and with much typhoid going around, Hahnemann is treating with homeopathy. He could do it. Also Goethe, the big author in Germany, is being treated with homeopathy, not for typhoid, but he was so much impressed that he mentioned Hahnemann on different occasions in his writings. Nowadays, we do not see so many famous people who are talking in favor of homeopathy. Perhaps we miss it a little bit, because in my country, the Netherlands, we are allowed to work, but we are humiliated and just terrible.
Just tolerated.
We are just tolerated, but not so much. Now here in Leipzig, Hahnemann still is working on his handwritten repertory. In fact, I show you in the first presentation also my first Kent. It's almost handwritten because all the editions are there. Here in German language, they tell me that these 2 books are 2 of the 4 books, handwritings, Hahnemann made together with his students. Repertories are lists according to the alphabet of symptoms of illness and their suitable remedies in a good order, not only medical order, but also alphabetical order. A strange book, a very strange book. Tomorrow again, I have a group here in the house. They want a lecture about the repertoire. How is this book constructed? And we start always at the very beginning. So nice to do. Just bring them into this huge information wonder of information. There's no richer book in the world than the homeopathic repertory. 1819, a new animosity campaign is set in by the Leipzig apothecaries, that's the pharmacists, and 13 physicians in 1819, arguing they do not believe the way Hahnemann is explaining how homeopathy should be studied and practiced. There's a big group of physicians by that time in Leipzig who want only to work with complex remedies and the low potencies, and they don't want to learn all those remedy pictures. And 5 years from now, in 1824, I think he has to move again because he cannot live in that way. The second edition from the Organon is published now with the title Organon der Heilkunst, with the motto Oude Sapere. It's not Heilkunde, not knowledge of healing, but art of healing. There's a book in homeopathy, Art and Science of Homeopathy, and that's the combination of art and science. That's it. Here's the Oude Sapere. You see it. This is the statue grateful students and followers have erected in Leipzig 8 years after his death. So that is in 43. In 1851, I think, yes, it's on May the 23rd, 1851. They have a monument for Hahnemann in Leipzig. So this is still there. The monument was originally planned for Köthen and mainly financed by Arthur Lutze. I will talk about Arthur Lutze later. And Arthur Lutze was the big money man of homeopathy. He made much money from being a homeopath. He had a web shop in homeopathy, and he paid for this statue. Several documents and objects were enclosed in the foundation of the memorial, including, so now you know what's in the statue. In the statue is the Organon and other writings of Hahnemann. His speech of defense against the pharmacists from 1820, of course, because it is his defense for homeopathy, for true homeopathy. A silver medal in honor of the festival programmer of his 50th Doctor's Jubilee. I have to go 10 years from now on, when I'm 50 years a homeopath. Still 10 years to go. A Saxon and a Prussian thaler. Rückblick zur Geschichte der Homöopathie by Roon. It's about the history of homeopathy in Germany. A print of Hahnemann's seal and a page of the Leipziger Zeitung newspaper of Leipzig from that date. That when you go there, you know, oh, this is all, and this is a statue. An iron gate, and there is sitting this man. "88 years old he became. I'm 78 at the moment. This monument is since 1851 located on the Richard Wagner Platz, formerly known as the Promenade, near Stadtring and nearby Brühl. In fact, it's close to one of his houses in Leipzig. There he's sitting. Hahnemann's ever-increasing reputation as a successful physician aroused jealousy of his colleagues and apothecaries, pharmacists. They made a complaint against Hahnemann to the Leipzig town council, accusing him for dispensing medicine. He was not allowed to do that because of the pharmacists. Hahnemann was brought before court on the 15th of March 1820. The judgment was to stop the distribution and dispensing of any kind of medicine to anybody. In June, he lost. Hahnemann lost, and he had to go. Now he has to move 2 times again. One is voluntary from Köthen to Leipzig, and this is involuntary. He left the Goldene Fahne, which is a kind of restaurant with 11 wagon loads of goods from Leipzig to Köthen. When he left 18 years earlier, Georgenthal, he needed only 1 stagecoach. But now he needs 11 wagon loads of goods. The books, the remedies, the furniture, the children, and the family moved to Köthen. It's not so far. I think it's 25 kilometers. Perhaps they can do it in 1 day, I think. Perhaps 2 days, not so very far. And then we are ready.